Okay, let's get started now then. How's that sound, Bethan? So I just want to welcome everyone here today. Thanks for taking the time to spend your lunch hour with us. We will have a lot of conversation and fun, and you'll get to meet some alumni. So we're just going to share the agenda to start today's program. So you're going to get to meet and spend some time with some of our alumni, so you'll be able to have all your questions answered. We will have the core program information session, so I'll go into some of the details. We'll talk about tuition and bursaries. We're going to have some smaller breakout groups, and then I'll run through how to apply. So we'll keep this nice and tight so that we have you out in an hour or before. Some housekeeping items, because we are a large group today. We're going to ask that you could please keep your audio on mute. Choose your view, speaker versus gallery. Use the chat feature for questions, discussion. Feel free to have discussions while I'm talking through chat. And any questions, we will be monitoring that so we can get back to them. Questions can be asked as we go. There will be time at the end, but I'm really flexible. If you have a question, just let me know. Stick around to the end because that's usually when all the big questions come out. And also to let you know, we are recording this session. It will be available for others to watch who weren't able to make it today. And we will be sending out a follow-up email with some more details, so you don't have to search for anything we talk about. So my name is Diane Wiles. I guess I should have changed my name on my Zoom square. I'm the CEO of Leadership Waterloo Region, and I've been with the organization since 2018. But I am an alumnus from the class of 2002. So I was in the second group that went through. So we're going to talk a lot about the program and what Leadership Waterloo Region does. But our mission is that we encourage, empower, and equip current and future leaders to unleash positive change in their communities. And we say current and future leaders because leadership isn't a one-stop. It's not, oh, I have no experience, so now I need to take the program. We all have leadership experience, and leadership meets you where you're at, your leadership training. It continues as you go on through life. And we have folks, it's about a stage in your life. So people who come into the program are through every age range you can imagine. Our vision, can you go to the next slide, please, Bethan? Our vision is to build vibrant, resilient, and inclusive communities. And we believe in enjoying the journey, right? Pursuing diversity, pushing our limits, doing the right thing, challenging, connecting, collaborating, making a difference every day, and diving deep. 5 things about Leadership Waterloo Region. Believe me, you're going to know more than 5 by the time we're done, but 5 things. So our last survey showed that our 465 graduates were serving on over 400 alumni. They were serving on over 400 boards and committees within our community. We also offer a free nonprofit leadership series where we bring the nonprofit world together to discuss pressing issues. So we were able to launch this through COVID. We looked at all areas from government subsidies, mental health, asset-based community development, crisis management. We looked at board training and really able to partner with our community and with other professionals. KPMG, Capacity Canada, Jim Clemmer, and others helped us with that. We relaunched our Visionary Speaker Series with the Right Honorable David Johnson. He came and did a session for us in a virtual world and talked about building trusting communities. And we did also launch our Turn the Page book club with that session with David Johnson. And we did feature his book, Trust. We have over 200 expert facilitators that work within our program, and many, many more facts that you're going to learn as we go forward. Next slide, please. Now I have the opportunity, we're going to just touch base with a couple of our alumni. Tony Dennison was in the inaugural class. So Tony, class of 2001. Tony not only is an alumnus, but he's the chair of our board of directors. And I'll pass it over to Tony to say a few words. Thank you.
Thanks, Diane. I have to say my haircut is a lot different than it was when that shot was taken. So I'm here to talk about why I signed up, what did I get out of the program, and why I've stayed involved. So I signed up because I'd been in my own business for about 15 years. I was looking for some career advancement based on what I'd read about Leadership Waterloo Region, which was a new program at the time. It would teach me leadership skills. So I signed up. I was really excited about it, and I did find, but what I didn't know was that it was so focused on the community and the not-for-profit and the social service sector, and learning about that. So that was a surprise, and it was a happy surprise. So what did I get out of the program? I got 5 distinct things out of it. First of all, I didn't know what I didn't know. Once I'd gone through the program, I realized that there was a lot that I needed to learn about the region and how it worked, and you know, to have an impact in the region, there were things I needed to know. I learned that it's Leadership Waterloo Region is not a course or a program as much as it's a launching pad into Waterloo Region. There is so much to know, and Leadership Waterloo Region really is the place to get started learning that. Number 3, you know, including the private sector, the public sector, and the not-for-profit, and and I also learned, or what did I get out of it? I was part of something big, you know, Leadership Waterloo Region. It was the first year of the class, but it was obviously something big, you know, wherever any event that I went to, if they knew that I was involved in Leadership Waterloo Region, everybody seemed to know about it and wanted to know more about it. And probably one of the biggest things I got out of it was that I met a guy who's a member of a Rotary Club, Dave Graham. I met him there, and he invited me to join his Rotary Club, and I've been a member of that club for almost 20 years now. And it became my center of influence. And had I not taken the program, I'd been approached to join Rotary before, but for some reason it resonated with me when Dave invited me, and you know, it's just been an amazing experience. So all of that is what I got out of the program. And why have I stayed involved? It's because, like, to be a part of the alumni, the camaraderie that you get out of that, even the even other years cohorts, you know, if people know that you've been through the program, they're much more receptive to, you know, talking. And how I stayed involved, I've been on lots of different committees. I'm on the board for the 2nd time, and I'm the chair now. There are lots of other ways to be involved in the organization as well, but those are the ways that I chose. So I hope you sign up.
Okay. Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
And Tony he's been on the board a long time. He left and actually came back and continues to come up with amazing ideas and strategy and stayed connected. So thank you for always talking Leadership Waterloo Region and thinking about it so much. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Our next speaker is Sarah Kelly. Now, Sarah's from the class of 2019. So when I came on board, I had the opportunity to work with Sarah's class. So I'm just going to turn it over to you, Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege to be here. So why I signed up for Leadership Waterloo Region, I had a previous mentor who just raved about the program. I loved his leadership style, and I just wanted to learn more and to really build some confidence and to fine tune some of my leadership skills. I love the community development connection with the curriculum, especially the relationship building. The Leadership Waterloo Network has been wonderful, and it's a strong community to reach out to at any time. I reached out to a former classmate, not this summer, but last summer when we could have events for a charity request, and they gave the charity that I was working for a big donation, and it was just through that connection and just through reaching out, all because of Leadership Waterloo Region. It was a wonderful experience. So how it has helped me since completing the program, definitely the networking has been wonderful, and the collaborative readiness and group project skills that you learn, and just understanding how other people lead and seeing good positive leadership styles. Those are skills that can be applied both in your work life and within the community. And why I've stayed involved, I really thought I had a good grasp on the community. I've been quite active in it for a long time, and this program just opened my eyes to the true needs within this community. And it's infectious to be around like-minded individuals. It's a wonderful network and a wonderful system. The program is a great opportunity for building networks and kind of getting out of that day-to-day bubble and just meeting new people and learning new things, and really just improving community awareness. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
It's always great to see you. Thanks so much for taking your time to come here today. So you've heard from two of our alumni. Well, you will have the opportunity to go into breakout rooms later. But what we're going to do now is talk about the core program. So the core program, well, we call it the core program because it's at the core of what we do. We do many things at Leadership Waterloo Region and offer different events and community training. But today we're going to talk about the core program. So the core program runs from June to September, or sorry, September to June. We follow the school year each year. And in those 10 months, we meet once a month, generally the last Thursday of the month, where we're together the entire day and we go through different leadership training. So the next slide, please. These 4 pillars really outline how we plan the program, how we write curriculum, how we involve ourselves within the community. So if we don't check a couple of these boxes, we don't learn it. So you can really see that community understanding, relationship building, collaborative leadership, and community readiness are at the forefront of everything that we do. I'm just going to change my view. There we go. So I'm going to talk about the program in 4 parts, but I want you to imagine that all of these 4 parts work together. They're happening at every leadership day. The first is leadership skills. This is what we bring. So you're going to learn about your emotional intelligence, dominant feelings. You're going to learn about mentorship, coaching, followership, intelligent disobedience. We're going to go through truth and reconciliation training, unconscious bias. We're going to learn diversity. Not only do we talk diversity, but it's the lens to which we strive to write the programming and to bring all of our messaging to the community. So all of these multiple leadership styles are taught throughout the 10 months. We have 5 textbooks that we use, and a lot of them are bestsellers, but we are looking at, you know, that upstream approach. We're looking at, if we could go to the next slide, into systems. So the second part we talk about is systems. So if you can imagine all your leadership styles, but then how do they work in the community? How does our community work? What's healthcare look like? And how does that tie into emergency services? And what about the school system? So one thing that we never take for granted, and we're very grateful for at Leadership Waterloo Region, is that we have access. So individuals that lead these systems within our community spend the time to come and speak with us. We have the opportunity to meet with mayors. We have the opportunity to spend time with systems leads and to be able to ask the question and figure out how our community works together. The third piece is experiential, right? So what does that look like in our community? COVID has made it a little different. Instead of us going to the community, we've had to bring the community to us. But we have done many things, from having classes at House of Friendship, at the Cambridge Islam Center. We have attended the National Housing Day ceremonies. Sarah's class was lucky to go on a tour of our judicial system. So we all got on a bus, we spent time at police headquarters, and then moved on to the courthouse, where we spent time with a prosecutor, a crown attorney, and a judge. And then we had a session with Chris Cowie from Community Justice Initiatives, and we looked at restorative justice, and then spent the remainder of the afternoon at Grand Valley Institute for Women. So you can see the fullness of learning that system, but spending time with the people who devote their life to lead these systems, to work within them, with an upstream approach. So we're not just looking at punitive what happens, but how does the system work together to try to prevent some of the recidivism and some of the other things that happen. So that is, we want to get you out in the community. So can you see a method to our madness here? First, you learn your leadership styles. You know what kind of leader you are. You start understanding how to work with other people, how to lead other people, how not always to be the leader, but to be a really good follower as well. So you have that confidence. Second, you understand systems. So you understand how you can assert yourself in those systems to make a difference, where you can make a difference. And thirdly, through the experiential component, hopefully we've lit a match under you, right? There's a passion now. You've seen something that you want to get involved in. So that is the leadership training. What we look at the fourth part is our affordable housing project. And when we look at affordable housing, we look at it in many ways. So affordable housing is over here. It exists because of, and then we look at the reasons it exists. So let's look at homelessness, addiction, mental health, job loss, divorce, disabilities, new Canadians, low stock, high prices. There are many reasons that the need for affordable housing exists. We do not do this work alone. We do this work alongside the Waterloo Institute for Social Innovation and Resilience at the University of Waterloo. So under Dr. Sean Goby, we work with the University of Waterloo, who does a portion of each of our program days throughout the 10 months. They take the time to look at, through a solutions lab view, what is affordable housing. So we also partner, if we could go to the next slide, please. Or do Thank you, Beth, and I muted myself. So when we first joined forces with the University of Waterloo and talked about working on a larger project, what can we do together to make a difference? How can we have a greater impact in the community? How can we have all of our cohort work together on one project? Well, what would that project be? So we turned to Wellbeing Waterloo Region because they had done work identifying the projects or the issues in our community. So one being chronic homelessness and affordable housing, 2 being belonging, and 3 being children and youth. So together with the Waterloo Institute for Social Innovation, otherwise known as WISER, we thought we can really take on affordable housing. Affordable housing is complex. Affordable housing is, as the university looks at it, a wicked problem, and in a mathematical sense, that means there truly is no solution. But when we're looking at working with affordable housing, we're not looking for a silver bullet, we're looking for a silver buckshot, right? So if you can imagine a buckshot going off and we have little beams of light coming through. So through this process, we will be working on affordable housing for the class of 2022. It'll be the third year working on affordable housing. And the idea is that we will be learning systems mapping. You know, you learn prototyping. It really is project management 501 with the university. And then you bring your solutions to a prototype stage where we announce them to the community. So this runs in tandem with the rest of our programming, and you work within project groups on the same focus area, affordable housing, throughout the year. So the next slide really demonstrates how we work together. So the core program participants work through this problem solving solutions lab, and then through Waterloo or Wellbeing Waterloo Region and others and beyond, we share the information and finding, and that goes to the community. So the impact that this has is not just on the class. So through this, we were able to involve more than 60 nonprofits in the discussion through World Cafes that we held that had almost 70 participants from the community at each. We are able to be a part of housing groups in the community. We work alongside the region of Waterloo's housing department. We work with City of Waterloo, City of Kitchener, as well as KW Community Foundation and others. So this is a project where our work has deeper impact. We also make sure that our alumni have access to this information. So they're disseminating all of our findings into the many organizations that they volunteer for. So the idea is this is shared community information that will allow all the ships in the harbor to rise. So before we get into our breakout groups, I'm just going to quickly run over our core program again at a glance. So it's 10 months, September to June. There's 8 full day leadership days. So this is why we'll talk later about the process for applying, but you really need the commitment of your employer to be able to go into this program. We have 2 half-day World Cafes where we bring people together. We've done that through Zoom quite successfully during COVID. Previous to that, we did one in person. We have an orientation where you get to meet your classmates and get your new books. If you want to buy a new lunch bag and choose for it, you can, because it is the first day. But we do have that in late August. Our opening retreat is 2 full days in September. We don't know what that will look like. Before COVID, we would take the group to Stratford overnight, and we would have great teaching, lots of guests, speakers, experiential, drum circles, all sorts. And we were able to spend that time together. Last year, we needed to do that through Zoom. So we still had a wonderful experience, and we will have that in-person time at a later date. Our closing retreat, again, 2 full days in June. We don't know what that looks like with COVID. This year it will be online. We keep the graduation until November. And the reason for that is because we think the graduation is worth a much larger community celebration. So now the graduation is held on the tail of our AGM. So it's not a business kind of AGM, it's more a celebration of leadership. So we can bring in people from all over the community to celebrate your graduation and recognize great leadership in our community as well. There is additional out of class time spending you need to prepare for your days. As I said, we had textbooks. Sometimes we have a movie it's great to watch, or some articles to read. And of course, there's project time that needs to happen with your class, with your classmates rather, for the Affordable Housing Initiative. Next slide, please. So there's our tuition. It covers everything, of course, except your time. But we really believe at Leadership Waterloo Region that no leader is left behind. So if it's the right time of your life, the right stage of your life, you're ready to take this on, there is an additional form that you fill out to request a bursary. That bursary application, I'm out asking for money all year round, and that bursary application is between the staff at Leadership Waterloo Region and you. So it is something that we, don't ever think you shouldn't apply if you need to. I went through the program in a bursary in 2002. So who's ready to stop hearing me talk, right? Next part is you get to actually go into breakout rooms. Now, here are some of our alumni. I'm looking forward to spending some time with them. We have J.K. Gill, Ali Krushar, Bruce Hilborn, and Paige Monkwip. All four of them are from the class of 2020. I can't believe where time goes. And Bethan, are you going to put folks into breakout rooms?
I will. Yes.
Excellent.
Just setting them
Freely
up now.
ask your questions. Thank you, all four of you, for joining us today.
Alrighty, so we're going to head into breakout sessions now for 20 minutes. So feel free to ask all the questions you need. See you soon.
Thank you. Sounds very ominous. Oh, hi, Tara. Glad you could join us today. Look at everyone. I love this. Bethan, will you let me know when everyone's back in? So it works. Looks like we're back in. How was that? Did you have some questions, Anne? Is there
Not all
any
yet.
more? Pardon? We're not all in?
Not all in yet,
Oh, okay.
unless some folks left.
Diane, I did have a good question, but I didn't have a good answer for it, other
Okay,
than
well,
my
this-
approximate guess. How many people are in the class per year?
So it really fluctuates. So in 2019, we launched the new program. So we're now at 22. We have 22 participants this year, but we would cap it at somewhere between 28 and 30.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Sarah. Was there any other questions I can answer? No. So we're going to look at how to apply. It's all online this year, so you can do everything online. So leadershipwaterlooregion.org. You need to submit the following information. We have an employer commitment declaration. Again, because we talked about how you need to miss a day of work every month, it's really important that you have your employer's commitment. A bursary application, if needed, is a separate document. An updated copy of your CV. Let's learn more about you. And a letter of support. And that can come from anyone you feel would want to help you with your leadership journey, someone who can speak to why this program works for you. Again, July 7th is the cutoff date. Then what happens after that? Well, we have a selection committee. So we had 13 volunteers last year, all except one were alumni. And really what that is, it's the first step of your leadership journey. So you have to sit down with them, and it's not meant to be any trick questions, or it's meant to really help you talk about your leadership skills. What does this mean for you? Where are you at in your life? And why do you want to be a part of the program? We really encourage, and I really encourage, touch base with me before you apply. Like, let's have a conversation. I'm happy to meet one-on-one at any time. Again, it'll be through Zoom or phone if you're more comfortable, but really just reach out if you have any questions, please. So July 7th, the applications are due. There's that $100 processing fee at that time. And then where we go from there is all your applications are reviewed. Depending on how many we get, and they may be done in smaller batches, we'll pull the committee together to review those, and you'll be called for an interview. Interviews are about an hour, and it should be fun, right? It should be, everything about this process is learning more about yourself. This is for you. So when we look at those interviews, what a great team we have working on them. And then you're notified about the course. Also at leadershipwaterlooregion.org, you have the program dates for 21, 22. Unless something really out of the ordinary happens, like, I don't know, another pandemic, those dates are the dates. So we plan a year ahead, and we really make sure that you have that in your calendar, and we protect that time. I'm just going to ask Bethan if she has anything to add, because Bethan, my colleague Bethan, is the one who handles all of the administrative side of this online, and I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Thanks, Diane. The only thing I think I will add is that the follow-up email will be coming out, and so you'll have my email. So if you have any challenges with the online application, any questions about the logistics or behind the scenes, feel free to reach out to me at any time. Happy to help, make things go as smoothly for you as possible. Again, it's an online application approach this year. This is our first year for doing this online approach. So crossing our fingers we don't have too many technical glitches, but thank you for your patience as we move to this new online format. The email will come out with a copy of the recording and the key dates, the links to the key dates, and some of the other key information that we need you to pay attention to. That'll be coming out later on this week, so stay tuned for that.
Excellent. Thanks, Bethan. And in the program, you get to know Bethan really well. So it's all win-win. One thing I'd like, you've heard from alumni, you've heard people talk about, I'd just like to share what my experiences was like going through Leadership Waterloo Region. So one of my greatest gifts has been the network. So I haven't had, you have to think when I graduated, we had, I don't know, 30 people in the network, and then there was 45. And then, so I've been able to be a part of this as the network has grown. But through our network, I've always been able to recruit for committees. I've always been able to ask people for help, advice. How would you handle this situation? Do you want to be a part of something bigger? So I've really found that just saying, I'm a graduate of Leadership Waterloo Region as well, has really been able to open some doors for me. The other biggest learning I got from the program. So before I was on the program, I'd be asked, can you chair a committee? And I'd say, oh no, I'll be on the committee, but I don't need to chair it. There's people who have more experience than me, or I don't have all the answers. I'm happy to participate. And the one thing that I learned through really diving deep into my own leadership styles and my, being around my class and my experience, was my superpower is I can surround myself with incredible people. You know that? I don't need to know everything. And I'm confident enough to empower others to bring forward their strengths. So yeah, I can chair the committee, and I do not need to know everything, but I need to make sure everyone on the committee is heard. And I need to set those processes in place so we can go through productively and make sure we come to the answer. So it really built that confidence in me that, leadership and learning is a lifelong journey. I know what I know, and I'll continue to learn more, but I really don't have to be the expert. There's plenty of smart people. And I always am grateful for that. When I sit on a committee and I look around and I think, can you believe all these amazing people that are sat here working on the same thing I'm working on with the same passions and the same cares? And that was really what I'm most grateful for Leadership Waterloo Region. But again, please reach out at any time. I can't thank you enough. Thank you to our alumni who joined us today for taking the time. Paige, JK, Bruce, Ali, Tony, and Sarah, thank you so much. And please, Diane at leadershipwr.org if you have any questions, and Bethan's email will be available in the email that she sends out as a follow-up with all the links. Have a great non-Monday because it is Tuesday. I forget that a lot on a long weekend. But have a great non-Monday, a great week, and please be in touch soon. Take care. Thank you.